Henry Cejudo and Kamaru Usman responded to Ilia Topuria giving up his featherweight title in the most recent episode of the Pound for Pound podcast, describing it as a daring and calculated move. El Matador's physical size impressed the hosts, who dispelled the notion that he might be undersized at lightweight by revealing that the Georgian weighs 187 pounds. He thinks Dana White will give him a significant opportunity, perhaps even a bout against champion Islam Makhachev, and that Ilia will make a smooth transition into the division. In agreement with Usman, Cejudo stated that Ilia is making the right choice by striving for greatness. Although he acknowledged that he could always go back to featherweight for another title run if things don't work out at lightweight, Cejudo noted that the division is now open because both Ilia and Max Holloway are leaving 145 behind. He emphasized that since the two biggest names in the division are now concentrating on 155, there is a huge chance for new competitors to rise.
Not just that too, Kamaru, but he gets big, bro. Ilia Topuria is up to 190 pounds, man. So
really?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, they just did a little post on him. His coach did. He still has abs, bro. He was 187 pounds. Look it up on ESPN MMA. He's 187 pounds with freaking abs still. What I'm saying is I don't think size is going to be the difference in this fight against Islam, because that's more likely because what he did, I think Dana White's going to honor him and tell him, yep, check that out, dude. 187 pounds with abs, dude.
Jesus.
Like, I think he's gonna fill in really, really good at 155 pounds. And for whatever reason, he does end up losing because he did vacate that bout at 145 pounds. He could always come down and fight for that strap once again. So I felt like it was a great decision.
Robert Whittaker recently expressed his opinions about the impending matchup between Khamzat Chimaev and Dros Dupi. According to Whittaker, Khamzat's wrestling is an almost unstoppable force. Few can stop him from imposing his game, and his takedowns are unrelenting. But what if Khamzat is unable to put DDP away early? DDP has built his entire career on surviving difficult times and thriving as fights wear on, Rob said. Every opponent he has faced has been broken by his tenacity and unwavering refusal to give up. The fight will start to tilt in his favor. If he can weather the early storm, avoid being finished in the opening exchanges, and pull Comac into deep waters. This is because DDP never backs down. No matter how much damage he sustains or how difficult the fight becomes, he simply keeps moving forward and applies pressure until his opponents break. Whittaker thinks the fight might be lost by Comac if he is unable to find a finish. In that case, Dup would defend the title for the third time, further solidifying his reign as champion. He would eliminate any remaining doubts and solidify his position at the top of the division by defeating a foe like Chimaev.
I can't see anyone really stopping Chimaev's takedowns. Like, his takedowns are so hard to stop, so hard to stop. And his wrestling and his grappling is just, yeah, it's super high level. I guess the question always comes in is like, can DDP drag it into those later rounds? Can he get through the first wrestling grappling exchanges and then start to capitalize on his just like persistence, like doggedness to go away? Because honestly, if Chimaev can't get DDP out of there, DDP wins. Like DDP wins almost every fight. You can't get rid of him, right? Because he's like mold, dude. He will not go away. Hey, and do not headline this whole talk with like Rob Whittaker says DDP's like mold. Okay, that's not what I said.
Rob Whittaker trashes DDP. He's mold.
Yeah, but honestly, dude, he's not going anywhere.
On the Russian MMA reality show Hype FC, which is a competition akin to The Ultimate Fighter, Khamzat Chimaev and Arman Tsarukyan are competing coaches. Their competitive fire is on full display, with tensions escalating after a recent fight between their teams, something no one saw coming. The fight itself wasn't the most exciting. Saran's fighter secured a victory through dominant wrestling and control, but it wasn't the kind of performance that gets fans on their feet after the decision was announced. That's when things started heating up. Khamzat and his team weren't happy at first. Things were civil. Arman calmly approached the judges, explaining why he felt his fighter had done enough to win. Then Comat stepped in, giving his take. But as both men defended their fighters, the conversation started to shift. What started as a simple conversation quickly turned into a heated back and forth between the two coaches. Their voices got louder, and before long, they were throwing Russian slang at each other. Now let's take a look at the original clip, followed by our full translation here at
Bro, I just focus on something
round.
illegal.
Oh, second round, 10-8?
The side referee is a draw. Yeah.
10-8. Third round. What's the third round?
The fight was as competitive as possible. The first round was won by Arman, the second round was won by Atari, the third round, in my opinion, was won by Atari. In Che's opinion, it was won by Ahmad, and there were disputes.
Ahmad
What's the third round? It's a draw third round. It can be like.
By points, I think all the rounds were ours because there were simply no strikes on the ground.
Yeah, we won. No, we won, right?
They side hit. For me, blue.
10-9, брат.
Нет, он не бил же, на поле просто держал.
Судья говорит 10-9,
Как 10-9? По UFC правилам, если не бьешь, там раунд не отдаешь. Тейкдаун не поинг не считается без удара. So, Charu, he didn't punch on the ground. If somebody don't punch, he don't win the round. If he just holding the ground, this is the fight.
Listen, like we
Dustin Poirier fired back at Justin Gaethje's claim that he turned down a trilogy fight at UFC 313. After Dan Hooker withdrew, Justin took to social media, listing 5 lightweights who allegedly turned down a fight against him: Max Holloway, Hanado Moano, Charles Ola Arman Tsarukyan, and Dustin Poirier. However, Poirier quickly responded on Twitter, clarifying it that he was never even offered the fight. In fact, he says he was the one who reached out to the UFC once he heard the news. He also pointed to UFC executive Hunter Campbell as a witness to back his claim. Arman Tsarukyan also dismissed Gage's statement while he didn't flat-out reject the opportunity. He had requested a catchweight before Rafael FV ultimately stepped in, agreeing to fight at 156 lbs with Gage, and FV set to run it back at UFC 3113. Fans are in for an absolute banger. Their first fight was an all-out war, a non-stop display of violence that left everyone wanting more now, with both fighters eager to settle the score. This rematch isn't just about rankings, it's about proving who truly reigns supreme in one of the most stacked divisions in the sport. The pair put on a fight of the night performance at UFC 286 in London's O2 Arena that won them both $50K bonuses and sent Gae on his way to the BMF belt. After that, FV made a quick return in September against Hadis Gamrot. However, that bout ended in disaster when a leg injury forced him to stop the fight, and saw Gamrot have his hand raised as the winner. What do you all think? Gae versus Fev is going to be an absolute war. Their first fight was insane, and now there's even more at stake. Can FF's technical skills outlast Gage's wild all-action style over 3 rounds? Comment below. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for daily MMA news.